What's up, agents? Patrick Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 recap video of the state of the game that happened about an hour and a half ago. I'm sure you guys watched it. If you did not watch it and you just want to get a brief overview and recap, I will be giving you all of that. So make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Division 2 content for the future. And make sure to leave a like, guys, because this is going to be quite a long video. But I'm going to try and make it as short as possible. I recommend you guys click the link in the description to watch the full state of the game. If you would like to completely go over it, I recommend you guys, this is probably the most important state of the game to go and watch. I recommend you guys go and watch the entire thing. But without hesitation, let's just get straight into this. So they basically Frederick Thylander came in to bring the Thunder. You guys know the story. He said he was going to bring the Thunder, and he did. I mean, they brought some interesting stuff to the table. Drew came in. He made up for last week, in my opinion. Props to them. There was some good things said, so let's go over. So the first thing they spoke about was invisible walls and bug fixes. Stuck NPCs in the dark zone, visual glitches as well. That will be resorted to. Well, they'll be fixing that next month. They're working on that, so we didn't really get a job for the fixes, but they are working on it. They've addressed it, and that's priority for them to be fixing these glitches. So that's always good to hear. Next, Drew was addressing that we spend too much time in our inventory. So these are things that I've been feeling since the beginning of the Division 2. We spend too much time in our inventory, and it's a bit of a frustrating thing because you never know what roles are good, what gear is good. So basically we're going to talk, they said in the beginning they're going to talk about gear. So they spoke all about gear. So that's the primary focus of this whole state of the game. That's what this video is going to be about, guys. It's pretty much all based on gear, because next week, in the next week's state of the game, they will be going over recalibration, skill power, refactorization in next week's state of the game. So just remember that. So Frederick actually revealed that there will be a new power cap. So that probably means, you guys know the gear score. I believe that the gear score is going to be raised. And the reason why this is perfect with these changes is that if the gear score goes up, guess what? That means that we will have to grind for more gear, which will probably frustrate a lot of people if there was no gear score increase and all our gear was just irrelevant, and people who had spent hours and hours and hours building their gear up had to go and refarm everything again, which would be very frustrating. But they actually said, Frederick said that they will only drop these changes for you to grind for new gear when the power cap goes up and there's new content for us to farm. So we don't have to worry about that, which is good. I don't know if they're covering it up, if it's just convenient for them. They did that for that sole reason, but regardless, I don't care. It's really nice news. We cannot complain anymore. I've been saying since the beginning of this, even the middle of last year, the game is going to make a turnaround. People always complain about this game night and day, and it annoys me because the Division 1 was even worse, and look how it turned out. This game is going to be gold. I promise you guys right now. Looking at the changes that I'm about to tell you, it's looking in the right, it's going in the right direction. And they said this is only a third of the major changes which we're going to be going over in the coming weeks in the state of the game. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. They pretty much addressed RNG, and it's very difficult for players to get good loot. Now that is something that we've been complaining about the entire time, and I'm so happy they finally brought this out. Basically, they're going to be lowering the amount of items that are dropped, but increasing the quality of them, which makes sense, I guess. But hopefully we're not, I'd rather see way fewer pieces of gear that I know are going to be worthwhile extracting or picking up, wasting my time going through rubbish pieces. And they actually brought up that the gear is garbage, the RNG is bad, which is really nice for them to actually admit that. And I'm quite happy about that, to be honest. Okay, the next thing they spoke about is high skill power builds that have over 500k armor. You shouldn't be able to be so tanky and have such high skill power and still 3-tap someone with a shotgun, which is obvious. So they have addressed this. Like the builds, the last build I put out was overpowered. It was ridiculous. I got 3000 skill power. I hit 100,000 damage a bullet, and I have 530k armor. So they're going to be fixing all of that. You're going to have to focus on certain roles in the group, which we're going to go over now. All right, so you'll be able to see if rolls are good. So I'm going to show you guys in the pieces right here, in the pictures. There's quite a few pictures that I need to show you guys, so just bear in mind. You'll actually see a bar next to the rolls. So on your tribute, you'll have a little tiny bar below it, like weapon damage. If it's 9% and the bar is only 3/4 full, you know it's not great. If it's a god roll, it'll actually be illuminated and you'll know it fully god roll, full maxed out weapon damage, for example. So basically, the talents like that, like weapon damage, are going to be multiplicative. So it adds a percentage on top of your overall damage, which is absolutely insane. That is what we needed, and it just helps understand how much damage you're outputting off the get-go without having to waste too much time, testing things. Okay, I'm going to try and speed this up a little bit, guys, because I don't want to make this video too long. It is just a recap, but like I said, watch the full state of the game. You need to watch it. So the backpack and the chest piece are the only two gear pieces that you will be able to put talents on. That is it. If you guys had talents on your knee pads or whatever, say bye. They're going to disappear. Mods, well, there's only one stat for each mod. So let me bring up a few of these pictures so we can actually go over everything. So as you can see, new gear game. The problems, you can go over it. The package, we're going to get all gear rebooted, new items, new things to play, new power cap, all gear converted. So all of your gear that is converted from your current pieces to the new pieces, they said they're going to try their best to not ruin it. They're going to try and match how good your rolls are. But the thing is RNG is so difficult right now that I feel like it's going to be extremely difficult to transfer it over and for it to make it your worthwhile. Like if you've got 35,000 armor, it's still high, but how is it going to transfer over? We're going to have to see. So as you guys can see, all the gear pieces have got complete reworks. Overlord armaments never used to be like this. We've got 10% rifle damage, 10% headshot damage, and 10% weapon handling. Clearly, we are going straight up. If you want to use Overlord, you have a specific role in your team. Now, weapon damage, as you can see, there's bars, skill damage, because skills have been completely reworked. Skill power is no longer a thing. It's like skill units or something like that. But you're going to see it later on, but we don't want to speak about that because that has not been spoken about, and I don't want to jump to conclusions, so we're going to have to wait till next week to go over that. Also, as you can see, there's only one mod slot for all the items. And by the way, guys, there will only be one stat on each mod slot, which means that you could put something singular into it and know exactly what you're stacking. We don't know exactly what the mods look like, but we're going to have to wait and see. So that's going to be it. So as you can see, there's composure on the chest piece. Now, they spoke about this, and it's a work in progress, so we're not entirely sure it'll still be there when the game becomes live. But as you can see, it's so much easier to see your damage. You can see if it's a good piece or not. And composure while in cover increases total weapon damage by 10%. There's no more requirements, guys. Now, builds, in my opinion, have been ruined by I need 2 more blues. Then I can't put this on. I have to sacrifice that. That made it very difficult to make different combinations. Now the sky is the limit. There's way more chances and way more options. On the next slide they showed, pretty much we've got build defining talents. So no requirements, amplifies your stats like I was talking about. These talents are extremely powerful, and they combine with each other very well, and there are some new talents as well. Fewer active at the same time, but more powerful. There's only 2 talents on your build, which it's crazy, but it is what it is. Then if we go to, they gave us an example of 3 full pieces. A healer guard piece, which is got 5% total armor, 8% health, 10% armor per second regeneration. I think that's probably going to get a rework, because we all know in the current game regeneration, however, in any way, isn't very strong. So we're going to have to see how that plays. 20,000 armor, and that's almost a god roll. You can see it's only going to be like 24k armor. Not even to be a god roll. So armor is getting completely reworked. We never got an example of a full build like all the main stats, but they just gave us this. Hazard protection. That's something that is gonna absolutely either ruin the game or make it great, because let me tell you guys something. If there's no hazard protection with my hive and my pyro chem launchers, everyone is just gonna die. Pyro builds are gonna be insane. Bleed hive builds are gonna be insane. I'm worried, but let's not focus too much on that. So leadership, performing a cover to cover grants 20% of your armor as bonus armor to you and your allies for 10 seconds. Support role, tank. Healer guard looks like it's going to be an actual tank build. Then, Circle of Concern, SMG, crit damage, crit chance. It's all just going straight into damage. Skill haste. We've got Companion. While you are within 5 meters of an ally or skill, total weapon damage increased by 15%. So now if we can have a companion like a drone, and the drone is going to give us extra weapon damage by 15%. It's insane. Like, I'm not going to lie, Circle of Concern, it looks crazy. Providence Defense really impressed me, and I'm going to show you that later, guys. That Providence Defense has got a massive weapon damage and crit chance as well, which is really, really good. Then we've got Murakami. It's a skill, obviously a skill set. Skill duration, repair skills, skill damage. Then we've got tier 1. So it's got 1 skill tier. So that's the way they're going to do it. We don't know the full details yet. Empathic Resolve. When you repair an ally, increases their total weapon and skill damage by 20% for 10 seconds. 5% if self. So clearly it's still a work in progress. But as you guys can see, there's so much there's so much specific roles that we're going to have in the game. And someone brought up a question, are there going to be any solo builds? And they actually did say that there were going to be solo builds as well. Let's move on to the next picture. Now they actually put a slide on of putting it all together. So an actual full build. It looks pretty dull if you look at just the 6-piece right now, but we've got 2 talents on it. Glass Cannon is the most interesting one. Like I said, Providence Defense. Look at this, guys. It's got weapon damage, crit chance, and crit damage. Crazy amount of damage. It's just complete glass cannon. All damage you deal is amplified by 25%. All damage you take is amplified by 50%. It reminds me of Reckless from Division 1. Hamish brought it up and he's right. It really does. It's going to be insane to see this in action. I can imagine this kind of working with the previous talent we saw. While in cover, get 10% weapon damage, because you'd want to kind of use a sniper or a rifle for this. I can see rifle builds going towards this direction, which is exciting. So I like to see that completely. It makes me quite happy. Another thing just to bring up, exotics are going to be reworked completely. So we have no idea what exotics are going to be like. We're going to have to see. Another thing I want to bring up, high-end items. So if you guys have high-end gloves with perfect clutch, basically there's going to be no talent, but one of the attributes are going to be more than God Roll. So not the max stat, but slightly above it. So that gives us reason to have every named piece. So you better get farming, guys. Get every single named piece, even if you don't like it now, because it could be possibly very strong in the future. Okay, let's move on to the next picture now as well. I don't want to go over too much about the talents. We saw exactly how that works. Now we're going to go over the gear sets. This is something that they brought up as quite interesting. So they've been reworked, and I can see so many combinations with this. We've got Hardwired, which gives us 10% skill, 10 repair skills, 10 skill damage, and then Feedback Loop. As you guys can see, it caters towards skills. Then we have an amplification talent that comes with it. This is just going to make it even stronger. So this gives us 50% bigger skills. Increase the skill bonus of Feedback Loop from 10% to 50%. That's skill damage and repair. So that's completely insane. I can't wait to see this in action. The problem is we're probably going to need some sort of PTS because this is going to be, if this just goes live, I don't know what's going to happen with the hazard protection, with the different gear pieces. We are all going to be lost, and we're all going to have to start again creating new builds. And if I'm honest, guys, I'm excited for that. I really cannot wait. And it's just really, really good. So let's go over the last things that they brought up. So our builds will finally have roles that you want to have. We all know that currently in the game, it's difficult. You don't know what kind of, if you want to make a sniper build, there's so many ways about it that it gets kind of confusing. You don't really know your role. Then you might have some extra skill power. And the fact that they removed the talent, the blues and yellows and reds that you need to activate each talent, just opens up opens the gates for builds. It opens up so many possibilities, and I'm excited to tell you guys that it really, really looks good. So I'm very, very happy with that. And they actually brought up that loot is garbage, which is, like I said earlier, which is very, very nice. I can't wait. Then finally, guys, damage to elites has been completely removed. It's gone. There's no more damage to elites. Bye-bye. So basically, if you got damage to elites on your mask, we all know how long we've worked for that. It will transfer into a damage talent, like crit chance, crit chance or weapon damage or something like that. And remember that all of these changes are going to come after episode 3, so not this coming update, the next one. So guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comments what you guys really think about this. I'm going to give you my quick opinion. I think it's really good. I like any kind of change in this game. I feel like we need it desperately. This is going to make builds a lot easier. It's going to make farming more fun. We're going to be able to know if we've got good pieces or not. New talents to try out, just exciting content, and I'm looking forward to see how this works. I'm a bit nervous with hazard protection and possible full out crazy DPS. Are skills going to be underwhelming? There's a lot of questions, but I'm going to leave it up to them because we still got 2 more. They said this is only 1/3 of the big changes, so we're going to have to wait and see. With that being said, guys, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Division 2 content, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out, boys.